So today we are going to cover writing essay topic of your PTE exam. And Mans, I've shared a link for the template in your group. So if for now you can download it and just keep it open in your phone, laptop, wherever it's convenient. And afterwards you can either type it down, write it down, print it out, whichever way you want to do. But for now, let's just understand how writing essay would work. Now,
Thank you.
all good. Now, writing essay, guys, we all know it's a very common word that we have been using like forever. Where even if you were in your high school, your college, universities, wherever, essay is something which we are well aware of, and something which is not really an easy task. If you just look at the literal definition of essay, right? Essay simply means what? You get a question and then your job is to write a proper comprehension of that. They'll give you something and your job is to expand it. So that's when it can become challenging because there's so many words which are going to be involved: the language, the grammar, the vocabulary, the conjunctions, the connectors, the ideas, so many things to take care of. But that's when the PT exam come into play, because in PT exam we all know it's a computer based exam. So every single thing that is happening in this exam is all computer based. So the exam that you're going to do is going to be computer based, plus the entire checking of the exam. There is no human being involved. Every single thing is just being happening in the back end, and that's how you get scores. And that's when we can try to do a topic in such a way that a computer can give us a full score. So our job is not to give computer the most complex and fanciest ideas and having the most complex words in that. Now that is not how writing essay would work. Our job is to just tick all the boxes that a computer wants us to tick. Okay. The simpler you keep your essay, the better your score would be. The more complex you try to make it, the more you start to lose marks. So keep this in mind always. Essay is one of the easiest tasks in your PT exam if you do it and keep it simple. First things first, in terms of number of questions, you either get one essay in the exam or you either get two essays. Most likely you will be getting one essay. There is still a chance you might end up getting two essays. If I give you a bit of an idea, if it's like 50 students of ours give exam, like we give the PT exam, out of 50, there'll be like two students who would be getting two essays in the exam, other 48 would only get one. So it's very rare that you'll end up getting two. And especially after those changes that they did when they reduced the exam duration from 3 hours to 2 hours, it's highly unlikely you'll be getting two. But we should be going in the exam with the mindset and with the preparation that even if we get two essays, we should be well prepared for that. Now, writing essay, because we know it's a writing task, in terms of scoring, it will only give you marks towards writing. We know in PT score sharing happens in few topics, but writing essay, it only gives you marks in your writing module. And depending on how many questions you get in the exam, it is approximately 5 to 10 marks out of 90. So if you are someone who's aiming for 79, which is IELTS 8 or above, then definitely this will prove to be important for you. But if you're someone who's aiming for 50 or 65, then this may not be the most important topic for you and should not be at the top of a priority list. But then it's still 5 to 10 marks, right? So we would not try to just take this topic for granted. Once you understand it well, our job should be to get a perfect score in this one. And it's absolutely possible to get a perfect score in this, provided you follow all the things that I would be sharing in this one. In terms of answering time, this topic will give you 20 minutes per question. So if you get two essays in the exam, that would mean 40 minutes. So 20 minutes per essay. Now, one question I always get is, let's say in the exam, you get two essays. First essay you complete in 15 minutes. Does that mean you get 25 minutes in the next one? Absolutely not. It is 20 minutes per question. So even if you complete one essay in 15 minutes, and if you click on the next button to start the next one, you will still get a fresh 20 minutes only. The time from previous question will not get added towards the next one. So always keep this thing in mind. Now, when I say 20 minutes per essay, 20 minutes per essay for everything. The moment that question appears in front of you, you start preparing for that, you start thinking of ideas, you start typing it down, you finish your answer, you proofread, you double check all the spellings, make sure it's absolutely correct, no typo errors. All those things have to be done in 20 minutes. You do not get any separate time to prepare for your answer or proofread or anything like that. So this can prove challenging, and especially because of the word limit for this essay. Now, according to Pearson, they say as long as your essay is between 2 to 300 words, you are safe, you will get a full score in the form part. However, what we have noticed is over the years of what we have been teaching, that in order for you to get a full score, you have to make sure your essay is between 270 to 299 words. Never type exactly 300 words, but also prefer not typing less than 270 words. Otherwise, there is a chance you might lose one or one and a half or couple of marks just for not having enough words in the essay. Now, the reason for that is simply because the template that I have shared you, the template, if you count the number of words which we have given in there, it's already 150, 155 words in the template. So you're already taking half of your essay just with the template itself. So you're not putting any content in that. So if you, let's say, use a template which is 150 words, and then you only type 51 words from your side, yes, you have satisfied the word limit for Pearson, but then you barely gave any content to the computer to work on. So that's why we have to make sure an essay is between 270 to 299 words. Now, typing roughly 300 words in 20 minutes is no joke. It's not an easy task, it is challenging, especially if you start typing after this. And for the first few essays after the class, when you start to type, you will realize that it might not be happening for you, like completing that entire essay with the content, with ideas, with the template, everything in 20 minutes. But then that's when this template that I've shared you will help you. In the exam, if you did not have a template and if you go and just start typing every single word from scratch, like you start thinking everything on the spot, you cannot finish your essay in 20 minutes. It will be very difficult because your typing speed might be good, but then you are thinking after every single sentence while typing. If you have got a template and if you have memorized it properly, in the exam, at least 150 words will not take you long to type because you have already memorized them. And we know once we memorize something, your brain doesn't even have to think about those words, and you just type it down without even thinking. And that's why memorizing the template is extremely crucial. And that is anyways going to be your very first task. Practicing essay every single day is not important, and I would not even recommend you to practice essay every single day. But memorizing the template is something which I would definitely recommend, because once you memorize the template, you're already on the safe zone. I can even give you one back story of the PT exam, that if we go in the exam and just type down the template, just the template, no content at all, you can still get about 2.5 to 3 marks out of 5 just by typing the template, no content in that. That's how good this template is. So our job has to make sure first we get these 2.5 to 3 marks, which are free of cost according to me, because once you memorize it, and then we can worry about the remaining 2.5 marks.
Yeah. One question, Mohi.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, like everyone write the same template. Does the computer like does not recognize like this is the like marked or it has been done previously with another student?
Okay, a very valid question. So look, let's take two examples. One is there's, let's say, 10 students sitting in the examination hall at the same time giving the PT exam. All 10 have written down the same template. Let's say all 10 of our students go and give the exam on the same day and same time, and everyone types the same template. Even worse, let's say every single student over there gets two essays each, and all 10 students have typed the exact same template in every single question that they have got. So even in that scenario, Pearson is not going to penalize or count that as plagiarism, that okay, student has copied the template from somewhere or someone else has already used it before. And the reason for that is that keyword that I just used, computer. It is not a human being that is checking your exam, where a human being would be able to figure out straight away, okay, this template has been used by more than one student. So they might penalize you on that. Computer cannot. The way scoring works for computer is not similar to what a human being scoring would work. Computer is just looking for those keywords, some keywords that we would be discussing after this. As long as you have provided those actual keywords that the computer is after, that's it. Computer doesn't even care what template you are using at the end of the day. As long as you're giving computer some complex sentences which they have got in their system, as long as you're providing them the right keywords which are related to the topic itself, as long as you do not make any grammar mistakes, as long as you do not make any spelling mistakes. If you can tick all these four boxes, doesn't matter if everyone is using the same template, and doesn't matter even if you use the same template twice in the same exam, you will never get penalized for that.
Okay.
Yes. Now, okay, before I proceed further, any other questions with anyone? Anything not clear up until now?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Perfect. Okay, so in the exam, there are going to be three different types of essays, and out of those three types, it could be either one of them that you can get in the exam. And those three different types are: one topic essay, two topic essay, and problem and solution essay. So whatever statement you get in the real exam, that will always and always fall under at least one of these types. But again, this is just for your understanding. I'm not saying this is going to make a major difference. Yes, problem and solution essay will make a bit of a difference, but not too much. We'll discuss that in a bit. But this is just for your understanding, just so that once you understand what type of essay have you got, it will help you to generate ideas very quickly. That's why we need to understand what type of essay is what. Now let's understand what type of essay are and how are these different. One topic essay. As the name says, it should only have one single statement. And no words of comparison. I'll explain that in a bit. Two topic, as the name says, two different statements. And then word of comparison is used. And problem solution, words like problem, solution, issue, solve, eradicate, cause, effect, any of these words written anywhere in the essay statement, that essay would be a problem and solution essay. I'll give you some examples as well after that, just so you understand better. And also write down few words of comparison just for your understanding. So, or, better than, rather than, replace, as important as, etc. So all the words which help you to compare two different things. Now, three types of essays. One topic, as the name says, only one statement has been given to you, and there's no comparison being happening with two different things. They might say Melbourne is the world's fifth most cleanest city, or Melbourne is considered to be the fifth most cleanest city in the world. Do you agree or disagree? What's your opinion on that? Question could be anything, that's not our concern, but my point is the statement. Most of the essay questions will have two parts. First part would be a statement, and second part would be an actual question. The actual question does not really matter to us, we just look at the first statement. Now when they say Melbourne is considered to be the fifth most cleanest city in the world, I can say that yes, it's a one topic essay. Why? Because it's only one statement that has been said about Melbourne, and they did not use any words of comparison. They were not comparing Melbourne with any other thing. They just said something about Melbourne, and that's about it. Also, they did not use any of these words. They did not say problem, solution, issue, solve, eradicate, cause, effect anywhere in the essay. That's how I know that my essay is one topic essay. How can an essay be a two topic essay when they compare two different things? They might say Melbourne is better than Adelaide in terms of the cleanliness. Do you agree or disagree? Then in that case, my essay will become a two topic essay. Why? Because now I can see that yes, there are two things being compared. One is Melbourne, another is Adelaide, and they are also using a word of comparison. They are saying Melbourne is better than Adelaide in terms of cleanliness. What's your opinion, or do you agree or disagree? Again, like I said, question does not matter. It's all about the statement itself. And problem solution, it's the easiest type of essay to identify. The moment you see any of these words, any of these keywords written anywhere in the essay statement, straight away that essay will become a problem and solution essay. They might say Melbourne used to be the cleanest city in the world, but now it is severely polluted. What do you think government should do to prevent this problem from happening in the future? Right? Again, it might sound like to you that it's a one topic essay because it's only one statement, but now the moment I see the word problem or any of these words written anywhere in the essay, straight away that essay will become a problem and solution essay. Everyone clear with the difference in the three types?
Yes.
Muhammad and Mansa, you're also clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, all good.
Perfect. So, like I said, that's the very first step for you in the real exam. First, to identify what type of essay have you got. And the reason for that is, like I said, it will help you to generate the ideas very quickly in the exam. Guys, understand one thing. We only get 20 minutes, so we have to do everything in 20 minutes. We cannot afford to spend like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes in the exam just to generate and think about ideas. We do not have enough time. We are just going to take maximum 1 minute in the exam to think of the ideas, and straight away after that we are going to start typing our answer, because we have to finish our essay, plus we have to proofread, double check, correct all the typo errors, spelling mistakes, every single thing. So once you have identified what type of essay it is, the next step is straight away we start typing our answer using the template that has been provided to you. Now, first I'll give you a bit of a time management of how you're going to manage your time in the real exam while typing an essay. And that's the exact time management I would recommend you to follow, because if you do that, you will never run out of time. Obviously, if you practice, but then it's important for you to understand a proper plan of how we're going to do. So we get 20 minutes. First step is, like we discussed, identify the type of essay. For that, it should not take you more than 30 seconds. So the moment you get that essay question, you read the essay question, you straight away start thinking, okay, is there any keywords like problem, solution, issue, solve, anything? Or are there two different statements which are being compared? Or is it only one statement, one topic? So that should not take you more than 30 seconds. Once you have identified what the type of essay is, Next is you start thinking of ideas. Again, we'll discuss about that in a second. And ideas should again not take you more than 1 minute. So in 1 minute, we are going to think of how many? Two ideas. Doesn't matter what type of essay you get, even if it's one topic, two topic, or problem and solution, you always are going to think of two ideas in every single essay. Third step is to type the template. Understand this carefully. We're not typing any content as of yet. We're just typing down our template, which is 150-55 words. That should not take you more than 6 minutes. Now, at the very start, when you start to type your template, even because you will have to look at the template since you haven't memorized, it will easily take you anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes on an average at the very start when you start to do it. But over time, when you keep on typing the essay every second day or every couple of days, you will get into that speed, because after a while, you will not even have to look at the template anymore. You just have memorized it, and now you're typing it down and typing the same repeated words again and again. And we have to get it down to 6 minutes at any cost, and that will eventually happen. My fourth step is going to be obviously filling in the content. So up until now, how much time have we spent? So we have spent 7.5 minutes. This should take you another 6 minutes. So even though for content you're barely typing how much? About 120 words, because 150 is about template, and then 120 is about what you type for the content. So even though you're typing less number of words, but you're still going to take 6 minutes, because right now you might have to think of the content a bit, not too much, just a bit. So still we are going to take 6 minutes for typing down the content. So up until now, if you calculate, so we have spent 13 and a half minutes up until now. So if you think about it, we're actually done with the essay by now, 13 and a half minutes, because you've already done it. Now the remainder 6.5 minutes is for proofreading. And in proofreading, obviously, we'll go through all the words, check all the spellings, grammar, punctuations, making sure your template is correct, there's no typo errors, there's no repetition of words, all those extra bits and pieces at the end, which you will do to make sure your essay is perfect. Everyone written this?
Yes, I did.
Perfect. And Mansa, have you done? Great.
Yeah, I'm done with writing.
Perfect. Okay, now let's talk about how we are going to get this into practice and get this into template itself. Now, if you just want to bring up the template link that I have shared, just open it up in a phone, laptop, wherever you want. And let's now put all this theory into a bit more understanding. So I'm going to take an example over here. Okay, so I've just picked up an exam question, and that has actually been tested in the real exam multiple times. Very important essay. But my point is just to give you an understanding that does not matter what type of essay you get, we are still going to stick to the same concept, same template every single time. My question is, government is pushing towards cashless society and plans to eradicate cash completely in the next 10 years. Do you think it is a good idea or a bad idea? Like I said, most of your essay topics will have two different parts. First part would be your actual statement, and second part would be a question. Question for you in the PT exam does not matter. You can even simply ignore it. You're not going to get anything. Even if they say, do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea? Do you agree or disagree? What are the advantages or disadvantages? What do you think will happen if this becomes real? They can ask any question in the exam and we would not bother about it. This is not important for us. What's important for us is the actual essay statement. Now, can all of you read this essay statement, and can anyone, all or let's say all three one by one, can you tell me what type of essay do you think it is? Is it one topic, two topic, or a problem and solution essay?
Problem and solution essay.
Okay.
Yeah. Problem and solution.
Okay. Mohammed, what do you think it is?
Problem solutions.
And why would be that?
Eradicate, like what? Like problem and solution.
Okay. Right. So this essay, because they have used the word eradicate, and if you go back to your notes, we have got the word eradicate in this one. Like I said, even though this sounds more like a one topic essay, but the moment you see the word eradicate, it straight away becomes a problem and solution essay. And instead of the word eradicate, if they would have just used, let's say, and plans to get rid of, which means exactly the same. If they would have said and plans to get rid of cash completely in the next 10 years, then this would have become one topic essay. And the point that I'm trying to make over here is, even though it's a problem and solution essay, even though it's one topic essay, and even though it was a two topic essay, that is not going to make any difference in how you answer your writing essay. You're still going to use the same template. You're still going to use pretty much similar type of ideas. Now let's stick with the same word, which is eradicate. So we know it's a problem and solution essay. Now if you look at your template, first we have got the introduction paragraph, then we have got first body paragraph, second body paragraph, and conclusion. Even in the real exam, we are all going to make 4 paragraphs every single time, because we are going to give PTE academic exam. We have to make sure, because it's an academic exam, we have to include 4 different paragraphs every single time. That's just the format. That's just the format of the exam. On that, it reminds me of one thing, and please write this down in bold, capital, underline it, highlight it, whatever you want to do, but that's extremely important, is click on the enter button only once. After every single paragraph. Because in the exam, we would be typing down 4 paragraphs. This is how your exam screen will look like. Something like this. Here you get an essay question. You will be given a box to type down your answer. On the bottom left, you will have a word counter. When you type your answer, it will start counting the words. On the bottom right, you have got the next button. On the top right, you have got a timer. So this is how your exam screen will look like. Now you have to make sure when you type one paragraph, let's say you have typed one paragraph like this, you put a full stop. Now when you have to go to the next paragraph, this is what the sentence means. You only click on the enter button once. And what would happen is when you click on enter button once, it'll move on to the very next line like this. So there would be no visual space in between. And sometimes when you finish a paragraph, you will finish your paragraph towards the very end, something like this. And when you click on enter once, it will start from the next sentence itself. Now this is where many students make a mistake of clicking enter twice. What they'll do is they'll click on enter once, cursor goes here, they'll click on enter again. The cursor will go on the very next line, that means that leave a visual space in between two paragraphs. Now, it might look great to you, like it's visually better to see and distinguish between all the four paragraphs. But again, remember one thing, it's a computer based exam. The moment you click on enter twice, and if you click on the next button and actually submit this essay, computer is going to give you a straight 0 for this essay. Even though you have written a fantastic essay, once you click on enter twice, game over, you get a 0 in the essay. So even though there are benefits of doing a computer based exam, it could be a drawback as well if you do not understand these things. So please keep this in mind. We only click on enter once. If you accidentally clicked on enter twice, that's fine. You can just click on backspace and go back. That is not going to be a problem. Before clicking on this next button, you can do as much changes, as much play around as you want. But once you click on the next button, it's all saved and submitted. You can't go back after that. Everyone clear with this clicking on enter once thing, like how we are going to do?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Now let's look at your essay again. So if you look at your template, like I said, we are going to ignore the question itself. That does not matter to us. We're just going to look at the essay statement. Now guys, if you remember my very first sentence when we started this class today for writing essay, my very first sentence was, the simpler you keep your essay, the better your scores would be. The more complex you make it, the more you start losing marks. And that is when I relate to this. If you look at your introduction and start reading, it says, this essay will contribute ideas and opinions, including the bright side of the topic on one hand and the dark side on the other hand. Every coin has two sides, and it is indispensable to study both sides for comprehensive knowledge and understanding of the subject. The essay will also shed light on the topic using illustrations and will help to discover several aspects. So 90% you've got the template which you have to memorize. The only words that you are going to replace with the content is the ones which are written in the bracket. Now in both places, both brackets, we've only got one word which is topic. So that means something similar has to come in both of the words, in replacement of both of the words. Now what's my topic? Topic is your essay statement, as simple as that.
Cashless society.
Yes, this complete essay statement. Okay, so like I said, you will have an essay, an essay statement and a question. Question is something that you ignore. You only look at your essay statement, and your statement is the actual topic that has been given to you. So this entire thing. Now, when I said we have to keep the essay simple, I meant it. And when I say simple, it means that we are not going to paraphrase our topic sentence and, as a matter of fact, anything at all. So what I mean by that is we are going to take the exact same statement that has been given to us, and we are going to type it down in the exam in place of the word topic, word by word, without changing anything at all. So this is how it would look like. So I would say this essay will contribute ideas and opinions, including the bright side of the government is pushing towards cashless society and plans to eradicate cash completely in the next 10 years on one hand, and the dark side on the other hand. Now, even though it is not really making much sense, why? Because you literally just copied and pasted. So not copy and paste, but then you just looked at all the same words and typed it down without paraphrasing. But that is the benefit of doing a computer-based exam. That computer, like I said, is only after the actual keywords. They do not care if you're copying or pasting, if you're using the same words or not. So we are going to keep it simple. We're not going to paraphrase, and not just in the first place only, even in the second place itself. So if you look at the second place where the word topic has been used again, so I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to say the essay will also shed light on the government is pushing towards cashless society and plans to eradicate cash completely in the next 10 years using illustrations, and will help to discover several aspects. Everyone clear with the introduction? I'm going to share one more thing with the introduction, but everyone understood what we are doing here?
Yeah.
Yes.
right? So it might, like I said, not make much sense that we're literally not doing anything related to essay. We're just copy and pasting. But yes, that's something which computer accepts. So we are just going to do it in the way computer wants us to do. Now, one thing to understand for the topic sentence. Now, this essay statement was not that lengthy. Like it only had how many? 2, 4, 6, 7, 14, 7, about 17, 18 words in the essay statement. So that's not a lengthy one, so that's okay. Sometime in the exam, the essay statements that you will get will be pretty long. Like instead of 17 words, they might give you a 30-word essay statement, right? Now, in that case, if you start typing 30-word essay statement again and again, there is a chance you might exceed 300 words. So we also have to keep an eye out on the word limit. In that case, if you feel that the essay statement is too lengthy, then you will just have to, instead of putting down all the 30 words, you will just have to pick half or 75% of your essay statement. Now, it again does not matter what sentences are you picking out of the essay topic, essay statement. You just pick, let's say 15, 20, 25, how many words you want to pick, just to keep your word limit intact. So they might have, in this essay statement, they might have said government is pushing towards cashless society and plans to eradicate cash completely in the next 10 years, as they have realized people prefer using their phones to make payments instead of carrying cash everywhere they go. So let's say this was my essay statement, right? So that's pretty lengthy, about 30, 35 words. So in those kind of examples, I will just have to pick half of the essay question because I cannot really exceed 299 words. So in that case, what would have I done? I would have still picked up until now just to keep my word limit right. And like I said, again, doesn't matter what sentences you pick, you just pick half of the essay statement. We're not going to do anything with the question, you ignore it basically, but essay statement, you just pick half of it. Everyone clear with the introduction now?
Yes.
Okay. Next is your first body paragraph. Now, can all of you read the first body paragraph? And now, because we know our essay is a problem and solution essay, in my body one paragraph, what do you think the idea that I'm going to use? Should I be putting an idea which is a problem, or should I be putting an idea which is a solution? Looking at just the template, what do you think I would be putting as my idea? Will I put a problem in the
Maybe both.
will I put a problem in my body one, or will I put a solution in body one?
Or maybe both.
Okay. So if you just read the first body paragraph, forget about the content, forget about the essay question itself, just the template. By looking at the template keywords that have been written in there, would you include a problem or a solution in there? Hint, only one thing we can use in that.
Problem.
Yes.
Yeah, problem.
Okay. Why? Because it clearly says in my first body paragraph in the bracket, in the second sentence, and challenging part which has been a trend is in the bracket idea one / problem. So no solution in this paragraph, only problem in this one. And same way if you read your body 2, if you read in the third sentence, it says acknowledge for beneficiary purposes is in the bracket idea 2 / solution. Now if you look in the same bracket, it says problem / idea 1, and in body 2 it says solution / idea 2. So what is it implying? So because it is your problem and solution essay, that's why, forget this idea word, we are going to include one problem and one solution for the essay. If it was a one topic or a two topic essay, then we are not going to include problem and solution because it's not a problem and solution essay. We would have then included idea 1 and idea 2. So just put that in your notes somewhere. Idea 1 is always going to be negative. Idea 2 is always going to be positive. Okay, we are never ever going to shuffle these two things. If you do that, your essay will not make any sense after that. Your idea one always have to be negative. Your idea two always has to be positive. Okay. Now, because this essay is a problem and solution essay, let's talk about what problem and what solution. Now, like I said at the very beginning again, that the ideas that you're going to generate, they have to be simple. You do not have to think of any complex ideas from your side, because the template itself is taking care of the vocabulary words, the complex words. So that's why once you memorize the template and you type it down word by word, your vocabulary scores is always going to be full. You never lose any mark in vocabulary because of the template itself. So the ideas that you are going to think from your side, they have to be simple enough. Now, what do we mean by a problem and what do we mean by a solution? Always think of it in this way, that whatever essay statement have you got, the essay wants you to think of a problem that would happen because of the essay statement, and then they want you to think of a solution for the very same problem. I hope that makes sense. So they wanted to think of a problem that will happen because of this essay statement, and then they want you to think of a solution for the very same problem. That's all we need to think about in the entire essay. Now let's discuss ideas for this one. My essay statement is: government is pushing towards cashless society and plans to eradicate cash completely in the next 10 years. What problem can happen because of this statement? So if government gets rid of the cash completely and it's all cashless, so what's cashless? Cashless as in using card payments or paying by phone and stuff. So what problem can happen because of that? If there's no cash and only card payments and phone transactions and all. Again, I would encourage you to speak. Your ideas could be anything. It could be wrong, it could be right, doesn't matter. We're not going to judge each other. We are just learning at this stage. It could be simple, it could be complex. We are just discussing right now.
Cyber attack.
Cyber attack, absolutely, very good. So if it's all cashless, no cash remaining, so cyber attacks can happen. And if you do not have any cash, everything is on your bank apps and stored online digitally and stuff, and cyber attack happen, all gone. Very good. Anyone, anything else?
Lack of knowledge of technology, like elderly people cannot use the technology.
Okay.
How they use that?
Many older generations cannot keep up with technology, right? Good. And they might fall in scams and other, dodgy things, because they do not really understand how cashless transactions work. They might end up transferring their life savings to someone and by falling into a scam. Whereas with cash, that cannot happen. Like if someone has got cash, how can they fall in scam? Like with transactions, they just transferred cash. Someone has to personally come there to pick up the money and all. So it's a lot safer. Right? I hope it's making sense. And like I said, in the exam, we are not going to take more than a minute to think of both of the ideas. So right now we are just discussing, so that's fine. But then when you start practicing, your target is to think of both of the ideas within 1 minute, and that will eventually happen for sure. But then that's why when you think of ideas quickly, you do not have to go for the fanciest ideas out there. You just go for whatever comes in your mind first. That could be an extraordinary idea and that could be such a lame idea. It does not matter. You just pick whatever comes in your brain first. So let's say cyber attack came in my mind as the very first thing. So I'm just going to go with cyber attacks. So now if you look at your very first body paragraph, this is how I would be putting my content in there. So I would say there are numerous outlooks to this situation. However, the most concerning and challenging part, which has been a trend, is in bracket idea 1/problem. So I will say, however, the most concerning and challenging part, which has been a trend, is it can result in cyber attacks. That's it. Was my idea very difficult? Did I use any difficult or complex words in this? No, I just said a simple, straightforward sentence that it can lead to cyber attacks. Simplest English possible. Because now I know if I use the simple English in the exam, I reduce my risk of losing marks in grammar and spellings. And always keep in mind, when you think of ideas, keep your ideas short and simple. Do not try to elaborate and extend your ideas so much, because the more you type, the more chance of you making mistakes. Everyone clear with idea one slash problem?
Yep.
Good.
Yes.
Or we can, if you were to use the second one, we could have said the most concerning and challenging part, which has been a trend, is many older generations cannot keep up with technology. That's it. One line sentence. Next sentence. Example. For example, research conducted in the past decade shows that, in the bracket they're asking for an example. Now, this is where, when I at the very start said to you that computer is just looking for the keywords, they just want you to have similar keywords to whatever you are typing in the exam. Now, easiest way to think of an example is your examples first of all have to be fake. You do not have to have factual information and correct one. It does not matter. Computer is not going to cross check your facts. They just want to see those keywords. You just have to make sure of one thing: the examples that you are going to type, they have to be related to your problem. Like, you can't just introduce a new topic this time. You have to have your examples similar to the content. Now, because if we were talking about cyber attacks, like it has led to so many cyber attacks, your example should support that. Always have some sort of number in your example, because then it just becomes easy for you to think of it. I always go with the easiest numbers. 5 million, 10 billion, 15,000, or any number that you want to go for, but the simplest numbers. You don't have to go for 5,988. Like, you don't have to make it complex for no reason. Pick up the easiest number and pick up any country, easier country, whichever country you can spell easily. If you can spell Australia properly, pick Australia. If you can spell India properly, pick India. If you can spell Japan properly, Italy properly, America properly, whatever easiest countries you can think of in terms of spelling, you just pick that. As long as the word is in English, you will not lose any marks for that. So let's just go with Australia. So I would say, for example, research conducted in the past decade shows that in Australia, around 5 million cyber attacks happened, and people lost so much money because of that. If I was using my cyber attack idea, I can repeat the keywords, that's fine, because I'm trying to relate to them anyway. And if you use this problem, many older generations can't keep up with technology, then you could have said, research conducted in the past decade shows that in Australia, around 5 million people who were above the age of 50 lost $20 million to scams. Again, what I did was I gave an example pretty much related to the same idea. Now, the information that I've given, like around all the people above the age of 50 lost $20 million in Australia, like, is it even true data? No, absolutely not. But as long as my content is making sense, and as long as my examples have got the similar keywords that the essay has, I am still going to get a full score for my writing essay. Everyone clear with the example?
Yes.
Good. Now, my last sentence, it says, in conclusion, in the bracket, conclusion of body 1. Understand these words, conclusion of body 1. So we are not concluding the complete essay. We are only concluding body 1. Now, my body 1 did not have any solution or anything like that. My body 1 only had a problem. So when I conclude my body 1, I only need to have a conclusion for the body 1, the problem itself. And again, conclusion has to be simple, one sentence answer. Because we mentioned about a problem, what I would say, I'll look at my essay topic statement, which was government is pushing towards cashless society and plans to eradicate cash completely in the next 10 years. So I would say, in conclusion, cashless society has many drawbacks. Or, in conclusion, cashless society has so many negative impacts. Or, in conclusion, cashless society has so many negative points. Even simpler, in conclusion, cashless society is not a good thing. Okay? Keep it simple. The more simpler you have your content, the more marks you get. Again, the same theory applies. In conclusion, cashless society is not a good thing. That's it. You have to keep your content simple. The moment you try to make it complex, and I can warn you right now, the moment you try to think, okay, I have to make my essay sound very fancy, is the point when you start losing marks. So we do not fall into that trap. Everyone clear with the conclusion for body 1?
Yeah.
Right? So up until now, I'm
Yeah.
still on the verge of I'm still on the track of getting a full score in vocabulary, full score in spellings, full score in grammar, full score in content, full score in form, every single part. Why? Because my template is supporting me to have a full score in all the other components. So I am keeping my content simple. Now let's talk about my second body paragraph. Now, second body. This one is all about your solution. Now let's first, before I discuss the body 2, let's talk about solution for the same problems. So let's say you picked up a problem which was cyber attack. What solution can you provide? And solution as in, what can you do to make sure this doesn't happen? It's as simple as that. So always think of it in a way, whatever problem it is, how can you prevent that?
Security check.
Very good. Security checks. So all those two-factor authentication, having recovery emails, all those things that we're used to on a day-to-day life. So pretty much security checks.
And that's what security check.
Very good. And let's say we were talking about the other problem, which was many older generations can't keep up with technology. Older generations can't keep up with technology. So that's a problem. And what solution can now we think of for this one?
Let's give them proper knowledge.
Exactly, right?
regarding
Just
the technology.
exactly, train them. Simple as that. Now you might have heard about, how if you go in an Apple store to buy an Apple product, they run those workshops and seminars and stuff for kids and also for the older generation. Like they can attend those free seminars and workshops, and they train them how to use an iPhone, like simple, how to make a call, how to save a contact, how to take a picture, all those basic things. Like they run those free classes. And that's exactly like, if older generations can't keep up with technology, that's my problem. My solution would be train them. Now, it might not be that practical in the real life. Like, let's say, if I say government is charging so much tax to people that people are having difficulty with the cost of living crisis. And if I have to give a solution on that, I will say government should start taking less tax from their pay. Right? Now, that's not practical in the real life. Like that's not just as easy as me saying it. But then as part of my essay, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just thinking of a problem and then I'm providing a solution for that, even though it's not technically possible. And here, if we say many older generations can't keep up with technology, yep, that's fine, train them. Government, if you have to elaborate, you can say government should organize free seminars and workshops, or private companies, public companies, government companies, or even just companies as in general. Companies should organize workshops and seminars to train older people to use new technology products. So that would be my solution for the same problem. The only thing you have to make sure is these solutions that you're picking up, they should somewhat make sense and they should be related to your problem. That's all I'm asking from you. After that, you keep it simple, you keep it impractical, it does not matter. Now let's look at the second body paragraph. It says, on the contrary, there are multitudinous aspects that help us believe and persuade that the most significant proposal to acknowledge for beneficiary purposes. Now, if you look at the language of the essay, how complex words have we got in this? Once you type these words down, you do not have to worry about the vocabulary part anymore. It's already taking care of it. Most significant proposal to acknowledge for beneficiary purposes is we should run security checks to avoid cyber attacks happening. If you want to make your sentence a bit lengthier, or you can even say government should or companies should spend money to have some security checks in place. If you are using this to acknowledge for beneficiary purposes, is companies should organize workshops and seminars to train older people of using technology. This would be my solution. Next again is example and conclusions. Similar thing. For example, a survey conducted in recent years presented that example. So here we are going to give an example which is related to my solution this time. So if you were picking security checks, my example could be, again, I'll use a number and I'll use a country. A survey conducted in recent years presented that in Australia, you can even repeat the country, that does not matter. Recent years presented that in Australia, around 5 million companies introduced security checks in their applications, and it resulted in the reduction of cyber attacks. Okay, you can change the country, you can change the number, that's fine. And if you're talking about this one, you can say a survey conducted in recent years presented that around 5 million companies spent $20 million to organize workshops and seminars to train older people to keep up with the changing technology. So I'm just supporting whatever solution I gave by giving pretty much the same example. In conclusion, cashless society has some good benefits as well. Or, in conclusion, cashless society can prove to be beneficial too. Or, in conclusion, cashless society is a good thing. Again, body 1 paragraph, cashless society is a bad thing. Body 2, cashless society is a good thing. So we are not fussed about our conclusions. We're just using simple sentences. Everyone clear with the body 2?
Yes.
Any questions up until now before I explain the final conclusion?
Just a one question.
Mhm.
Like, what we write our solution, like let's say example, do they test the grammar check? Do they the software does the grammar check?
Yes, grammar would definitely be tested. So if you make any grammar mistakes when typing your examples or conclusion, yes, you will lose points in that. And that's why I always say to have your examples, conclusion, your ideas, your topic sentence simple. The most simple language you use, the less chance of you making grammar or spelling mistakes.
Okay.
Yes. And when you memorize the template is already grammatically proof, like it's all grammatically checked. So there's no grammar mistakes in that. So if you memorize the template, memorize it with all the commas, all the punctuations, every single thing. Because once you memorize it that properly, then there's no grammar mistakes in the template itself. And with the content, the examples and solution, if you keep them simple, you just reduce your chance of making any grammar or spelling mistakes from your side. Okay. And finally, it's your final conclusion. Now this time we are concluding not just the body 1, not just the body 2, we are concluding the entire essay. But here it's a simple, now conclusion paragraph is your simplest paragraph out of the 4, because if you read it, there's only one word which has been given to us, which is topic, and that's about it. And that's the only word we replace. Other than that, it's all memorizing it. So from what has been discussed above, it can be concluded that topic is a debatable topic. What's my topic? Same thing. From what has been discussed above, it can be
Yes, yes.
concluded that government is pushing towards cashless society and plans to eradicate cash completely in the next 10 years is a debatable topic, and the arguments listed above have created divided opinions. Now, what does my conclusion mean? We're just saying that look, it has both the sides. It has got positive point, it has got negative points. So it has created some divided opinion. So we are not supporting anything even at the end. We are just giving a debatable opinion. Everyone clear with the last paragraph conclusion?
Yeah, yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
So that just concludes your essay. And similar thing would have happened if it was my one topic essay or two topic essay. Because in that case, if my essay was one topic or two topic, then you do not think of a problem and solution. You think of a negative idea and a positive idea. Okay. So if my essay was, let's say, the same example we did earlier, that Melbourne is better than, or let's say Melbourne is considered to be the fifth most cleanest city in the world. Do you agree, disagree? What's your opinion? Blah, blah, blah. So if that was the case, Melbourne is considered to be the fifth most cleanest city. Because it's one topic, you think of a negative idea for that, you think of a positive idea for that. When you say Melbourne is considered to be the fifth most cleanest city in the world, what positive could it be? You can say, yes, Melbourne is considered to be the fifth most cleanest city in the world. There are far less number of diseases spreading in Melbourne because of the cleanliness. That's a positive of having a clean city. And what could be a negative for that? Now, even though that's not technically negative, but you can say government has raised the taxes by 50% in the last 10 years because they're spending so much on the cleanliness of the city. Now, even though yes, it's a good thing that the city is so clean, but government has increased the taxes by 50%. So that's not good for people either, like the people who are especially working and stuff. So that means it's not a good thing. Even though, like, when you say to someone, wait, now I don't think my city should be that clean because government is spending so much. It's not a good thing to say, but then for my essay itself, I'm just going to still think of something negative and something positive. And if it was a two topic essay, let's say if they would have said, Melbourne is bigger than Adelaide in terms of area. What's your opinion on that? Or do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Now, because they're comparing two things, Melbourne and Adelaide, so now, because I'm going to think a negative idea and I'm going to think a positive idea, this time just in two topic essay, but the change that would happen is you think of a negative idea for one thing and you think of a positive idea for another thing. Because there are two topics, one is Melbourne and one is Adelaide. So you think of a positive idea for Melbourne and you think of a negative for Adelaide. Or you think of a negative for Melbourne and you think of a positive for Adelaide. It's completely your choice, whatever you want to do. As long as you cover both of the topics, that's exactly what computer needs from you. So if you were saying something negative about Melbourne, you just put a negative idea about Melbourne in body 1. If you were saying something positive about Adelaide, you say something positive about Adelaide in body 2. Everyone clear with how the essay works?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So like I said at the very beginning, guys, it's not a difficult topic. It is absolutely easy, provided if you follow the things that I've mentioned. Like the moment you start making it complex is when it would actually become complex. It is not a complex task. Plus the amount of marks we are getting from this topic, we cannot really afford to spend so much time on this topic on a daily basis. We have got other important topics to worry about. But these are some of the easiest marks you can attain once you understand it properly. Now, at the end of this topic, you would have understood that at least 70% of your topic depends on how well have you memorized the template. Because once you memorize the template, 70% of your job is already done. And that's what I would recommend you anyway. The quicker you can memorize the template, the better. Never leave the template for essay towards the very end of your exam, towards the very end, because the moment you leave it towards the very end, that's when it becomes difficult for you to memorize. Best way to memorize this essay template would be to memorize one paragraph every single day. That is not really a difficult task. The way you should be doing is, it's 4 paragraphs. Tomorrow, you're just going to memorize your body one and going to type it down 1 or 2 times. Day after tomorrow, you're just going to memorize body one and you're going to type that body one down a couple of times. The next day, body two. The final day, conclusion. Fifth day, the entire template. First, try to type it down without looking at it. See how much can you type without looking at it? How much have you memorized? So that's your entire task for writing essay. I would not recommend you to start typing 2 essays every single day. That is not really productive, but it's all about memorizing the template properly. The best thing you can do for essay is just memorize the template, plus every alternate day, let's say every second day or every third day, just type 1 essay and that's about it. So for example, tomorrow, so once you have memorized the template, so it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And this is what I'm talking about once you have memorized your template. Monday, type 1 essay. Tuesday, do not do anything. Wednesday, just revise your template. Thursday, type another essay. Friday, don't do anything. Saturday, again, revise your template. Sunday, type another essay. And that's about it. That's too much. I won't say too much, but that's all the practice that you need for writing essay. It's all about memorizing the template properly. However, in saying that, for the starters, because you have just learned this topic and it's fresh in your mind, I would encourage you for at least next 2 days, I want you to send me 2 essays after typing them down. I'm not expecting you to type down the template without looking at it, but I just want you to keep the template in front of you. But pick any 2 essay topics, any two, just Google them, find it from Ape Uni, whatever essays come in front of you, pick those 2 essay questions and type them down using your templates that you've got and send that in your personal groups. I'll have a look, I'll check that, and I'll give you proper feedback as to what mistakes you're making, just so that we can rectify those mistakes from the very start.
Oh,
Okay. And
Okay.
since I've given you a task of 2 essays, do not really stretch it for another week or so. 2 essays means it should not take you more than 2 days. So I would definitely expect you to send me 1 essay tomorrow. I'm not talking about today. Sending 1 essay tomorrow and sending another essay day after tomorrow. And if you just do that, I'm happy with that. Afterwards, you can just follow the same thing that I've shared, is by memorizing your template 1 paragraph at a time and then just typing 1 essay every couple of days.
okay.
Yeah. Now, everyone clear with the essay topic from start to finish? Any questions at all for the entire topic?
Looks like quite easy. It will take time to memorize, but
Yes, the only challenge in the essay is memorizing the template, but then that's 70% of the job already done with that. So it is, yes, like you said, Sojal, it is absolutely easy if you just follow the same way that I've explained.
and is that like when we send you the copy, do we have to send on a Word or and like do you have any software like where we can upload?
There's no software, but
Is
that's
that
when we come into play. Like, we would be checking your essays ourselves and giving you a proper feedback of what you can expect in the real exams. So what you can do is, I would definitely, for the essay topic, would recommend you not to write down in your notebook, but actually type your essay in your laptop, because ultimately we know it's a typing exam, so we'll rather do the practice in the correct way. So what you can do is, to make it easy, you can type your essay in, let's say, Word document or Notepad, wherever you want to, and afterwards you can either upload that document in the Telegram group, or you can even just take a picture with your phone and send it afterwards.
okay?
But when you actually practice, that's when you just type it first in your laptop, and then you afterwards, even if you attach the photo, you take a screenshot, you send a picture, that does not bother me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys, finally, any other questions with anyone for essay? Okay, that's good.
I'm
All
good.
good.
Perfect. I hope this made sense. And even after the class, guys, if you still end up, let's say when you start practicing the essay topic, and if you still come across any questions or anything you're not sure of for the essay topic, or as a matter of fact, any other topic that you've already attended with us, feel free to put that in your, in your personal groups, and either me or Mohit will reply to you over there.
Okay. Yep, no worries.
Perfect. All right, guys, that's all for today's class. Have a good night, and I will see you in the next one.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you.
All good, guys. Good night.